All right, so we've only gone over one mount escape so far. It's been the UPA escape, trap and roll, whatever you want to call it. It goes from being mounted to being on top in the other person's guard. It's probably the easiest one. You also end up most of the time in the other person's closed guard, or at least half guard, and then you have to address guard passing. So now we're gonna do an elbow escape from mount where we get our guard back, right? So this one's honestly a more difficult escape. A lot of the time you have to take some pressure from the person, but if it's done correctly, you're gonna end up in closed guard. So you're gonna go from a position where you're totally dominated to a position where you're dominating your opponent, right? So when you go from being mounted to being in the opponent's closed guard, you go from basically a position where the person's totally dominating you to a position where they're slightly dominating you. They have a slight edge on you, right? So we're gonna go from a position where we're totally dominated to a position where we have an edge on them. So Dan has me mounted right here. And the most important thing on the elbow escape is you want to, when the person's like starting to apply good pressure on you and you feel like you're pretty flat, you want to make sure that at least one of your elbows stays on the inside of the guy's, or on the top of the guy's thigh, right? If Dan is able to get my arms pushed up like this, bring your mounts higher with your legs, this is going to be difficult, right? If you end up right here and you need to get your elbow back in, it's going to be more difficult, but it's possible. Most of the time, it's going to be possible by lifting your hips up, turn to your side, bring your arms down, shrimping a little bit, right? So I'm right here. Let's say Dan really has his mount pretty high on me. So I'm gonna lift my hips. I'm gonna shrimp my butt in that direction. So I'm gonna go with this arm in this case. So he goes a little bit high. I come out, shoot my butt back, I get my elbow on the inside, right? If Dan is in a slightly lower mount and I have my arms on the inside anyways, let's say he's sort of controlling my legs, he's controlling me by just bringing his chest down on me and put this arm behind my head, right? This is like a pretty common way to flatten somebody out and mount. It's a miserable position to be in. Dan can just kind of like roast me from here if I don't know how to escape. So if my elbow's still on top of his knee, in order to get into that same position, I'm just gonna pick my hips up, and then as I put my hips down, this hand is gonna come in front of his stomach, right? So I'm gonna start it here, and then as I drop my hips, hand's gonna come across real fast because there's gonna be a space there for a moment. Get my hands together, so I have my frame right here, right? My frame's across his body, with my hands together, my elbow on top of his leg. From right here, I'm gonna get on my side, and if I can, I'm gonna pick his leg with this leg right here, and then I'm gonna take my bottom leg, I have my frame on top of his leg, right? So his leg shouldn't be able to shoot up away from me. I'm gonna frame with this elbow, supported by this hand, and I'm gonna kick this leg up under his leg, right? So now I'm almost in like a half guard position, but I'm not in the direction that I really wanna be. So from right here, I'm gonna keep this leg trapped, plant right here, and I'm gonna go from my right hip to my left hip. Boom, as I get to my left hip right here, see on top of me, that's a good base. I'm gonna take my frame, and I'm gonna change it to the opposite side. Shoot my butt away here, bring my second knee in, bring my legs back, get myself back to my closed guard, right? So it's like a series of shrimps to work yourself back into your guard. Let's shoot ourselves from straight on. Then we'll do one from that side. We'll work all the escapes from this side. Okay, so my elbows are tight. Dan brings his pressure down, controls my head with this arm. Boom, from right here, I'm gonna take this hand and get it across his stomach, right? Or into his stomach. I'm gonna lift my hips and drop them in order to make space. When I do that, shove my arm across, hands come together, right? Now my hips go this direction. Boom, right here, grab his top leg, bottom leg comes through, traps his knee. From right here, I'm gonna bridge, switch sides, come right here. From right here, square yourself up a little bit. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna shrimp myself away again. Shrimp, bring this knee in, come right here. If I need to shrimp an additional time because this leg's stuck, that's fine. Frame on this side, shrimp again, bring this leg out, and get myself back into closed guard. So let's do it on this side. So it's just frames and shrimps, right? Dan's got my posture dominated, pressure down. This arm around my head, just so it's all on the same side. So this arm, the elbow springing on the thigh. This arm is gonna start coming across the stomach. We stomach the stomach on me. Hips up, hips down, arm comes across. My hands are together on this side over here. From right here, get on this hip, track the leg, bring this leg through, right? So now we do the first shrimp. The first shrimp from my right hip to my left hip. Boom, right there. Switch my frame. From right here, I'm going to shoot myself out further, bring myself back in right here. So I have like a butterfly hook in. I have a closed guard hook on this side. Change side with my friends. Shoot myself in that direction. make space for this leg to come back at, and back and close down.